Hey YouTube, it's me again. I had a few viewers like the building process of the caboose, so I'm going to show something else that I like to do. It's not quite the same as scratch building, it's kit modifying. As you can see, I have a mini metals gasoline truck. As you can see, the cab itself doesn't fit a 1970 era prototype. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to remove the cab, and replace it with a more modern vehicle. The back, the bunk area, and the rear axle will remain the same. But I'm not going to discard the cab. I'm going to interchange it with another body. Here I have A-Line's F800 or F850 truck. As you can see, it is, wow. There's a lot of parts in there. But this is perfect. This is going to be interchanged with this cab onto that chassis. There are some screws in the bottom, so the next time you see this truck, it'll be out of the package, and I'll have unscrewed it to take it apart. Upon further investigation of taking this vehicle apart, one screw held in the cab, which came off separate from the fenders. The fenders are actually molded to the frame. So this means, unfortunately, that the frame will have to be cut in half. But since I know where the frame needs to be cut, I can cut that frame in half and add this frame in where it needs to be spliced in. I know how long the frame needs to be because of the actual truck part itself fitting onto the back of the frame. So right behind this bracket, right here, is where this frame will have to be cut. So right here behind this bracket, the frame will have to be cut. As you can see, I've got the frame glued together on the gas truck. And on this truck here, I took the axles and put them together. I wanted to mock up the front end to see how high it had to be, if there was a sag in the middle, or if it was going to be up or down. So having the wheels on lets me get a straight plane from the front to the back. So that's what I'm doing now to make sure that it lines up properly. I can now start painting the cab to match the fuel bunker. The closest color I could find was this Floquil. This is, even though the label's missing, this is Wisconsin Central Maroon. And I think this probably is just about the same darn color. So that's what I'm going to do there. Paint the cab Wisconsin Central Maroon. As you can see, the truck cab came out just about the same color. It's a little lighter, but I can actually darken it with weathering. For the interior, the seats, the dashboard, and the steering wheel. The seats, I'm going to paint a light leather brown, Americana sable brown. There's other types of paints that I use, as well as Floquil and Polyscale. So the seats will be a light leather brown. I want the dashboard to be off-white. This is Delta Ceramics Antique White. I'm also going to paint the grille work around the headlights off-white. Off-white seemed to be popular in the late 60s, early 70s. The frame, I'll paint black. I added the axle and wheels on there to make sure that the model sat level, like I mentioned with this truck. I didn't glue on the pieces yet, and like a dork, I was able to take off this piece, but it didn't matter. I'm gonna just keep going the way that I'm going. I don't want to move this yet to see if it could have fit on there without modifying it too much. But I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to repaint this a different color. So I took the seats and windows out. They are right here. So I'm going to paint this a completely different color so it looks like it never should have went with that model. But anyway, on to the next bit. Okay, so minus the windshield wipers and lights and some small details, it's pretty much done. As you can see, I painted the grille work and the front bumper the off-white color. The dashboard is also off-white, and I also painted the rims off-white. As you can tell, I painted the older truck, and I'm going to be putting the bed together on it. The older truck, which has these flared fenders, is a telltale sign that it's an older truck. Late 30s, early 40s, I'd say it's a 41, probably a 41 Chevy 2-ton pickup. That doesn't exactly fit my era. This truck looks to be, it is a Ford F850. It looks to be around a 74, but it's a lot closer to my era than a 1941, of course. I can still use that truck. It'll still be on the layout. It'll look a little different. But this truck will more represent the modern prototypical pickup truck, a lot like this one back here. It's really shiny, so it's hard to tell, but this is it looks to me to be like a 1969 Ford pickup, step side. It's a generic. It's not exactly a Ford. It's not exactly a Chevy. It's close to an International on the grille work and the headlights. The hood looks more like a Ford. The bed looks more like a Chevy. The cab kind of looks Chevy, but it looks Ford more in the front end. It doesn't really resemble a Dodge. So it could be an International or a Ford. But who really cares? It's a late 60s pickup truck. And pickup trucks are actually hard to come by from the late 60s, very early 70s. This one is made by Promotex, which is also made by Herpa. It's in Canada. This is how they come in a package. It's all solid rubber, but with a little weathering and some details in the back of it. Sitting next to a building, it'll look pretty good. For prototypical modeling, there shouldn't be a lot of hot rods, street rods, things like Corvettes, Lamborghinis, and stuff like that is not usually found in the industrial areas. So pickup trucks, 1 ton, 2 ton, 1.5 ton, whatever you want to call them, those are the trucks that'll be prominent on my layout. This one is just about done. It has the windows in it. I painted the frame. You can probably see right behind the cab there where I cut it. The drive line from the City Classics rear end actually butted right up to the transmission on the A-line model cab, which was pretty neat, I thought. So there you go. My little modified, more modern to the 1970 era mobile gas truck. This will be one of the neater things on my layout because it's pretty much a one of a kind, unless somebody else has done this. It wasn't that hard to do. The Flow-Quill Wisconsin Southern paint was exact. I'm gonna call it exact. And the off-white really makes it stand out pretty good. So let me know what you think. I'm not gonna film the blue stake bed truck. You'll just see it on my layout one day. But anyway, there you go. Modify a vehicle. See ya.